Welcome back to another episode of Ordinary Guys Bourbon. Today on the program, a very special guest, a person who's anything but ordinary. It's my son, Jacob. Jacob, how you doing?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm doing real good. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I just got out of active duty Army for the past 3.5 years. It was pretty good. And now I'm back home.
So active duty Army, you were stationed at I don't know, can you talk about this?
Yeah.
So you were stationed at Fort Stewart in Georgia. And that's just north of Savannah.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where you did most of your time, right? But you did spend a little bit of time in where were you in Europe?
Lithuania.
Yeah. And that was part of probably a confidential. We might be rated after this, but part of an effort to do some cross training with the Lithuanian army. Is that correct?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your specialty in the army was what?
A mortarman.
A mortarman.
Yeah.
Thunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that something that has a lot of application in modern war?
Yeah, I mean, the artillery can't reach, so imagine a mountain. We can go up and then right on the other side of the mountain. And
Okay.
Artillery is just over.
Okay.
They can't get that arc.
So when you're setting things up, and I don't know if there's different roles in the squad that puts the mortar in place and into play.
There is, yes.
But so there will be people that are like gauging wind and how much they want to go up and over and angles and some of that, right?
Yeah.
So you're almost like an engineer.
I mean, I'm not, but they are, yeah.
Well, let's be
yeah.
careful about that.
Yeah.
So you spent your time at Fort Stewart and also some time overseas, but you did your basic training at Fort Benning,
Yes.
also in Georgia.
Yes.
Right now, Fort Benning, for a while there were the bases were changing names, right?
Yeah.
So Fort Benning, did that become something different for a while?
Yeah, it was Fort Moore for a while, and I believe they went back to Fort Benning.
Okay. But did Fort Stewart also change? Was it something else before Fort Stewart?
No, it's been Fort.
It's always been Fort Stewart.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. But going back to application, are there divisions of the Army that are like, some guy in like a shipping container somewhere that's just like flying drones?
Because there probably is some.
Or is that more of an Air Force thing?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I went to the recruiting station 3 years ago, I didn't get it. My score wasn't high enough. But you could be a drone operator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you've satisfied your obligation that you signed up for active duty. You're back home. It's great to have you here. But you're just transitioning right into a stint with the National Guard. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm still on active duty right now.
Okay.
I'm still on my leave.
Oh, so is it like a teacher if they haven't taken the vacation time every year to accrues, and then at the end like they would be ready to retire, like so long I got 180 vacation days kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. But so you're still active duty right now. That has to end in the next week or so, I have to expect. Right?
Yeah, June 13th.
June 13th. Okay. And then because this episode won't come out for a week or two.
Yeah.
Right. But then you're also you just completed some testing to go into the police academy as well.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. That run wasn't fun.
But you're an active duty soldier. Like you're used to running around with like a whole bunch of backpacks on and a gun, right?
Yeah, but we don't do suicides 88 meters apart 15 times.
Just run back and forth. Just going back and forth.
Yeah, but when you're a bigger guy, the momentum, when you turn around, you gotta
It's a wide turn.
I mean, I took a couple wide turns and kicked the cone a couple times.
Okay, well, that's to be expected.
Yeah.
Do they in the police force? And I don't know if you know the answer to this. Are you required to test, like do physical testing like every year or every 5 years or something like that to still maintain things, or?
I don't believe so. I know during the police academy you have to do it 3 more times and improve every time.
So you got sandbagged on the first one?
Not this one. I made sure I passed this one.
Yeah, and I still think your vertical jump is inflated. That might be fake.
I can jump.
I know how your family jumps, and
I do too.
it doesn't have a lot of vertical to it. Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So this is funny. This has happened now. We're in season 2. So this is going to be, I think, the 26th episode that we've done, and I think it's happened 3 times so far, where we started recording a show, and then all of a sudden we got to the end of the show, and all the footage was lost.
Yeah.
Right. So that happened with there was an episode we were doing with, I think, Ken Pluff was the cameraman, and he forgot to hit the record button. There was an episode we did just a few months ago here with Chris Korn. We did a Willet pot still, and I'll be darned, it failed to record again, or something happened with the recording. And now this is our second time through this.
Yeah.
So there was a phone call. We record on my Google Pixel phone, and somehow there was a phone call, and it interrupted the recording process. So here we are, take 2.
Yeah.
So we've got our scores already, but let's go ahead and pretend.
Yeah.
So the bourbon we've got today, you picked up this bottle and brought it.
Yeah.
This is Savannah, Georgia, so real close to the base. A bourbon from Georgia.
South, yeah.
From the South, from the Low Country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did some research about this, as I do, and let me tell you a little bit more about Savannah Bourbon. Savannah Bourbon. Now this offering, I don't know what you paid for it in where you were shopping, but online it says it's about a $44.99 bottle.
Yeah.
So you paid
I paid about $35 at the Habersham liquor store.
Habersham?
Habersham Street liquor store.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Savannah.
In Savannah.
Okay. Savannah Bourbon, maybe it's called 88 Premium Bourbon by Savannah Distilling Company, or maybe it's called Savannah Handcrafted Premium Bourbon from the Low Country. I'm not sure. But either way, Savannah Distilling Company's website describes this offering as Georgia's first bourbon taken to market since Prohibition. It goes on to say, it's fitting. So enraged about the state's early adoption of Prohibition in 1907, Savannah nearly seceded from Georgia itself. With a nod to this city's affinity for spirits and living in the moment, enjoy this award-winning bourbon known for its aromatic spice and smooth finish. And this is fascinating. So Prohibition in the U.S. didn't start until 1920.
Yeah.
Right. That's the 18th Amendment.
Yeah.
And it was repealed. I think it was the 21st Amendment that repealed it in 1933. But in Georgia, Prohibition started in 1907 and didn't end until I think 1935.
Yeah. It was a long time.
Yeah. And this on this show, there's a few things we steer clear of. We don't talk about politics on the show, and we don't talk about religion, right? Because those are polarizing things, and that's not the point of what we're doing here at Ordinary Guys. But I will tell you this: as I was researching this and learning more about this offering, and then you go down the rabbit hole and you're trying to understand why Prohibition started in 1907. There's some fascinating history there, right?
Yeah.
And just like we all have a thirst for bourbon, we should all have a thirst for knowledge.
Yeah.
And I really encourage people to go in and if you're interested in this bourbon, if you're interested in American history, do a little research, right? It's not to formulate an opinion one way or another, but understanding how society interacted with different cultures and with different people, especially in the early 1900s. I mean, you can learn things from that. And you can learn, what made this nation what it is.
Yeah.
And it's worth. Hey, let's get back to the bourbon though. Savannah Distilling Company's Savannah 88 Handcrafted Bourbon is a blended offering. That means they take different bourbons and mix them together.
Yeah.
It's aged approximately 4 years, and as the name suggests, it's at 88 proof. It's also reportedly made with 8 unique grains, although I can only find references to Silver Queen corn, Coastal Rye, and Red Winter wheat, all sourced from farms along the Savannah River in southeast Georgia. This part's a little weird. It's reportedly distilled in Milledgeville, Georgia. That's 150 miles inland from Savannah.
Yeah.
Then I think it's aged in Savannah.
Yeah.
Before it's being proofed in Blairsville. And I might be wrong on that.
Somewhere.
That's like 150 miles north of Milledgeville. So if you think about, I've been in the auto industry for a long time.
Yeah.
And any kind of industry that's sourcing parts in this global economy that we're in, there's a premium to pay just to move product around.
Yeah.
So logistically, I have to believe that's expensive. But whatever.
Yeah.
There's a handful of people that started this company a little over a decade ago. The first bottle of Savannah Bourbon was sold in January 2014, so not an old company.
Yeah.
Right. Founders include Justin Farmer, Charles Barfield, Dan Rosenbluth, Jim Valentine, along with some silent partners, family, and friends. There isn't much found about the founding group, other than Barfield is an experienced entrepreneur and CEO. Rosenbluth is a marketing force, having come from Coors and with a legacy of making Blue Moon a household name. Rosenbluth is the only out-of-state member. I love Blue Moon beer. I love it.
It hurts my stomach.
Really, I get it without the orange, but I love it.
Oh, the whole thing hurts my stomach.
Yeah. Different strokes, different folks. Savannah Distilling Company also makes other products that sound tasty, including low country cocktails with Savannah vodka and Savannah bourbon. They have a single barrel Founders Reserve bourbon, a sweet tea bourbon. I have to believe that's a high seller.
Yeah, every time I go to the liquor store, whenever I go to the liquor store, wink wink.
Probably very rarely.
Yeah.
Your mother's watching this program.
Yeah. It's always sold out.
Yeah?
Yeah, every time I go, there's maybe a bottle or two.
They love sweet tea down south.
Sweet tea is good.
They love it.
Yeah, there's a guy I know. I've gotten very close with him. He showed me what sweet tea was.
Just tea with a whole bunch of sugar in it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. They also have a bourbon and honey offering. That's a popular thing. Bourbon and honey.
It wasn't.
No?
It was always fully stocked.
It's not a popular thing for me. I like bourbon, tasting bourbon.
Yeah.
Last, I'm not sure if Savannah Distilling Company was first or not. That really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But Savannah appears to be a booming place in the craft distillery space. A quick Yelp search. I didn't know Yelp was still a thing.
Oh, it is.
Oh yeah. So I searched on Yelp, and it said there's other distilling treasures such as, listen to these names. I love them.
Yeah.
Burnt Church, Rotten Little Bastard. I love that name.
Yeah.
Lucky Duck, Striped Pig, Two Pilots, Hilton Head, High Wire, Richland. There's probably others.
Yeah.
So this summer, if you're trying to figure out where you should go on a family vacation, I think Savannah's where you need to go.
Savannah's pretty good. Yeah.
So that's the story of the bourbon. But you know what? The story's all fine. You know what matters?
Bourbon.
How it tastes.
Yeah.
So, Jake, welcome home. Cheers to you. You just did a little tap thing. Why do you do that?
Take a little shot glass. That's
You know, they do that on that show Letterkenny that I watched before. You watched that show as well.
Yeah.
I didn't know why. Does it have some kind of like meaning? Does it?
I mean, whenever you take a shot, you just gotta tap it and drink it.
Well, I'll tell you what. That was a pretty
That was smooth, man.
pretty tasty bourbon.
Yeah.
Now we have the benefit of already scoring this, but we're still going to go through the motions. So, Jake, you know how our scoring system works. You watch the program, you subscribe, you've hit the like button.
I got some subscribers.
Yeah, and that's something that's interesting. You know, we've got so in YouTube, it doesn't show. It tells me when a new person subscribed, but it doesn't tell me where they're from. You know, and sometimes people have goofy names or whatever. Hey, do me a favor, down in the comment section, drop a little note of where you're from, right? Or you know, how you came to the channel. It would help us out in understanding what our audience is and how we can continue to cater this show to you, which is why we do this. So Heritage.
Yeah.
Maximum score is 20. This is not a new, not an old bourbon, not an established like 100-year-old bourbon. But what do you have for the score for Heritage? Maximum is 20.
I'll give it about a 10.
I think that's fair. I've had 8 myself.
Yeah.
I love the story. I love learning the history. Again, we won't go into all that, but I love the history, which really probably shouldn't have anything to do with the Heritage score, right? But if this is in fact the first bourbon brought to market in Savannah, from Savannah, after this extended prohibition period happened, I think that's kind of a neat part of the story. And that factors in some heritage, I think, there.
Oh, yeah.
Taste and drinkability. Maximum was 40 on this one.
I'll give it about a 38. It's pretty smooth.
I agree. I got it to 36 myself.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of bourbons have come out at 90 proof.
Yeah.
You know, there's a popularity right now for 100, 101 proof. Wild Turkey just came out with an 8-year-old Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah.
And then you get a barrel select, a barrel finish, barrel strength.
Yeah.
cask strength, you're getting like 120, 125 proof. This is at 88. They do sell bourbons at 80 proof, right? That's the minimum I think you're allowed to. So it's a little bit lower than the average bourbon, I think.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it's smooth.
There is.
It's smooth. It goes down nice.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was the neat or the on the rocks. I like on the rocks with a little bit of water.
Yeah. You gotta get the electrolytes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Because you're in peak physical condition.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I got it at 36. You got 38 for taste and drinkability. What about affordability? This is a $45 offering. You said you got it for 35 though.
Yeah, 39, 35.99.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think it's bad.
No, I don't think so either. So I've got a 22 for affordability.
Yeah, I gave it a 25. Yeah.
So this is that space that competes with like Woodford Double Oaked,
Yeah.
which is a different tasting bourbon.
Woodford is good. Yeah.
Right? Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. We haven't reviewed on the program. Maybe an upcoming episode, maybe.
Yeah.
But you know, affordability. I think it's a strong score.
Yeah.
What about design? Design is the hanger-on, I guess, category. Least important. Maximum is 10.
I give it a 4 since it's just the state of Georgia with the Savannah written on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have done more with that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
The bottle, there's nothing fantastic about the bottle. To your point, I think it would be great on the shelf, especially if you got some kind of ties to Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, like my brother lived in Georgia for a couple of years. Him and his wife both lived in Georgia, I think.
Yeah.
So if Alan was a bourbon drinker, which he's not, I don't think. He's a closet drinker.
Might be.
Maybe.
It might be.
He might have to be a guest in the program.
Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah.
I think he'd do it.
Probably would.
I think he would.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd be a good person, whether he drinks bourbon or not. One thing we're gonna do this episode or this season is I think we're gonna have a non-drinker in the program.
That would be a good one. Yeah.
It would be an interesting twist
That'd be funny.
because there's plenty of people that don't drink at all.
Yeah.
Good for them, whatever. But and you could still go through this. The only thing you would be able to score really is taste and drinkability,
Yeah.
and we have a surrogate for that, I think. Yeah. So you got a 4 for design. It's just a wine bottle, right? I got a 3.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of wine bottles. Like that.
Yeah. So Laura has a collection of wine. We've got a bottle that's been in the fridge. We pulled it out of the rack and put it in the fridge, I think, 3 weeks ago. And every week we said, hey, Friday, let's have dinner and we'll have this bottle of wine.
Was it a cheap bottle of wine?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Was it Barefoot wine?
Either way, it's been in the fridge for 3 weeks because every weekend, the weekend comes and goes and we don't have the wine, and then it's time for us to go back to work. And so, like Sunday, we're not gonna have a big boozy dinner. But either way, I've got a final score of 69. What do you got?
I got a final score of 77.
That's a strong score, and this is a strong offering. For anyone that's interested in having any kind of ties to Georgia or wants to try something that's from Savannah, which appears to be a bustling area of bourbon distilling,
Yeah.
I think it's a great option.
It's pretty good, yeah. I'd recommend it.
So Jake, it's great having you home. It's great having you on the program.
Oh, yeah.
Until next time, from Ordinary Guys Bourbon, cheers. It would be great if this didn't record again.
I don't think I could do another one.
You might have to.